Hi, this is Doug with my Mavic Air 2, and today I wanted to talk about filming in 4K 30 with the shutter speed of 60. I know it's the big deal to do, it's great cinematic footage, and it is the right thing to do if you are filming bicycles and cars and boats and planes and your kids skipping rope and what have you. You're going to get the motion that will look most natural that we're used to seeing. However, if you're doing landscape photography or videography and you are doing things like steeples and churches and mountains and trees and lakes and things like that, where the drone is moving but the landscape is fairly stationary, 30 frames per second and 60 for the shutter is not the way to go. It's definitely not going to be helpful. You're going to get some actual bad footage that looks stuttery, footage that just doesn't look natural, and it's not pleasing to the eye whatsoever. So what do? Well, you just go to 60 frames per second. And you don't have to go 60 with 120 shutter speed. You can just do 60 on auto. As long as you go to 60, you're going to be in great shape. And let me show you some examples of what this looks like. I'm hoping it comes through on YouTube. I'm not sure that by the time it gets fully processed, the differences will be as relevant as they actually are and when you produce it. But let's take a look and see for yourself.
This first set of footage is a top-down shot. The drone is pointing straight down, moving forward. It's not the most beautiful angle to look at the ground, but sometimes you just want that top-down shot for various things. And you can see in the 30 here, it's just stuttery. It doesn't look smooth, not the way you'd want it to be. In this one, it's 60 frames per second. Looks pretty good, I think. Certainly an improvement. It's not great. I'm a little close to the ground. If you want to do top down, you probably want to be a little higher than this. But overall, it looks pretty good. Now, there are three different types of shots where this 60 frames really shines. Top down is one of them. The next one is rotational, and the third one is strafing left to right. Here's the rotational in the backyard here. And you'll see, especially in the flowers and the glass ball that you'll see just a second here, right there, the white flowers and the glass ball, that really shows the stutter quite a bit in the 30 frames. When you get over to the side here, the spinning windmill thing, you can see a little bit of it there. But again, when you're doing a rotational shot, the 30 frames issue is very evident. It's probably the most obvious situation that the 30 frames isn't working for you. Here's the 60, and I think again the flowers and the ball look quite a bit smoother. Certainly there's motion, but that's to be expected. I mean, you are moving the camera, so some motion is a good thing, right? And again, coming back the other way, again, check out the flowers and the glass ball there. I think that really shows how the 60 compares to the 30. This next one is rotational, also outside, just a further distance. Now, when you're flying straight ahead, 30 frames per second works fine. 60 doesn't really become an issue. It's just that if you're going to be doing some landscape work and you're going in different directions and then starting to do top down and rotational and strafing, you don't want to have to stop and change your settings and do all that kind of stuff. So just run the whole thing at 60 and you'll be happy, I think. Here's your strafing. Again, the drone moving left to right, pointing essentially straight ahead, not really moving its angle at all, just left and right. Again, the flowers, you can see, just don't look very clear at the 30 frames per second. But as you progress and go to the 60, I think you'll find it just looks smoother, much more pleasing to the eye, something that you can publish and share without worrying about how poorly it might look. So again, give it a shot, see what you think, but a 60 is definitely an improvement, and it really breaks the 30 frames and 60 shutter rule in a good way, I think.
Okay, well, hopefully those videos demonstrated the clarity that you're going to get with 60 frames per second. It's much more pleasing to the eye. I mean, I can't say enough about that. I've had some footage that I've taken that I just never published because the shot was what I wanted, but the clarity was just terrible. And I was shooting at the 30 frames with the 60 shutter and thinking I was going to get what I wanted, but it just didn't work. So try 60. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. Now, there are some disadvantages to 60. Mostly the codecs you're going to have to use is shot in H.265. H.264 is what's used for 30 frames per second. 265 is one step up from that, and your computer may have a hard time handling that codecs. It's a problem for older computers. Some computers don't even have the software initiated on the computer. When you first download a 60 frames per second, try to process it, your computer may give you a pop-up message, hey, you don't have the codecs, and you can buy it from Microsoft for 99 cents, which is what I did. But that's a real issue for older, slower computers. It's just trying to process 60 frames per second footage, because it automatically converts to the H.265 format, and that's a real issue. It'll take a little longer to process your videos with 60 frames per second because of the codecs, and that's just what you have to deal with. And the last thing is, when you go to publish it or create the final video, be sure you do it at 60 frames per second. If you do all this work and publish it at 30, it will come out all stuttery. The whole thing will just be stuttery. So it'll negate any changes you made in the 60 format. So give that a shot. Go to 60, give it a trial, see if your computer can handle it, see if your processor can handle it, and make sure that when you produce the final result that you're going to create, that you go to the advanced settings or whatever you have to do in your software to make it 60 frames per second in the final cut. The 30 will still be stuttery, but hopefully the 60 will show up smooth. So anyway, good luck, give it a try, see what you think, and again, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it.